And a very, very massive social workers Indaba is taking place here. It's the very first social workers Indaba that's been held, and it was a call from the Minister of Social Development, Minister Batibile Dlamini, after having spent some time interacting with the communities, holding some workshops, talking to them and having some consultative processes with some of the social workers. It was decided that this Indaba is a necessity to address some of the problems that are surrounding the industry. The Department of Social Welfare will, for the next 3 days, hold this social workers Indaba at this Durban ICC. But we've got the Minister with us right now, and let's have a conversation with her and find out more about this. It's good to have you, Minister. Thank you very much for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much, Eliane.
All right, now, how important are social workers in the fabric of society?
Social workers are very important in the fabric of the society because they go to communities, and whenever there is a problem, they are the first ones to arrive. Take the issues of disasters, more particularly in the Western Cape, and then Marikana, they also performed very well. And then again with the tragedy of Nigeria, they were there throughout, communicating with families and taking messages of the government and ensuring that they kept those issues as confidential as they could before they reach families. So they have done a lot of work. El Dorado, we had to take a group of social workers to go and intervene on the issues of alcohol and substance abuse. So they are there, but most of the time people want to say negative things about social workers because I think there is lack of understanding of the mammoth task that they are faced with social cohesion. Dealing with anger. We are an angry society, Leanne. We come from very difficult conditions. This is a transformative period, and during this period you need social workers so that they can just work with communities and ensure that we deal with that anger and the social ills that are there in our communities. Issues facing older persons, children, people with disabilities, and as well as women. Those are areas where social workers have been doing their best.
Let's talk about the challenges that are faced by social workers, though, because you speak to many of them and they feel that there isn't enough assistance from the department in terms of office space. We were speaking to one of the social workers. They were saying transportation is a very big issue. They may get to the very deep rural areas, they'll get a car there, and then to try and get access across a river is almost an impossibility. Also, support for the social workers. They see so much. They work in a very stressful and emotional environment, and yet for them to actually get counseling is non-existent. So what's been done from the department to assist them?
These are some of the things that we are going to discuss early in. The full cycle of a social worker. Intake, going to communities, debriefing by supervisors is very important, because if you leave that element, social workers get destroyed because they carry the problems all over, and so they must find space to take out the stress that they come across at a community level, and also tools of trade. And when we looked into the issues of, for instance, transportation, there was agreement that each social worker must travel 3,000 kilometers a month. You go to the Northern Cape, and it means that a social worker has to travel once and park the car. But also the way we've done, we've dealt with the issues of responsibilities and the devolution of powers to districts. that also we have to deal with, because if a car has a problem, they have to wait until the province or the district approves that. And most of the time, you social workers end up using their own resources, their own salaries to try and ensure that they work with the people.
Yeah.
The issue of spacing, but also the issue of accessibility. We have not dealt with the issue of structural conditions that were there before.
Yeah.
So our people have to travel a long way to reach us, and when we are supposed to be close to our communities, and these are the issues that we are looking into.
Yeah.
And that is why we started with the program called Mikonzo. Mikonzo, the national leadership of social development, goes down and work with our people, and our CFO is deployed in the Northern Cape.
Good.
And when they came back to give reports about the conditions that are faced by social workers, they were very clear about what we are supposed to be doing, the bid. What should we ask for from a treasury if we go for the bid, so as to ensure that we reach out to our people.
Well, the social workers in Indaba is taking place today. It starts today. It goes on for the next 3 days. The Minister talking to us here of Social Development. Thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you
good
very
luck.
much, Leanne.
Good
Thank
luck.
you.
A lot of work needs to be done for these social workers. As we mentioned, this is a calling. It's something that somebody has in their heart to help somebody else, but they certainly do need the resources in order to do that and to assist South Africans in a very, very tough environment. That's it for the program.